Welcome back to another episode of The Fallout. I'm editor out Kyle. He's out of position. We're
What's up, everybody?
recapping Gators' tough loss away at Ole Miss. What's your thoughts about this past weekend's game?
It was a heck of a game, Kyle. It was going back and forth there for a lot of it. I'm not going to take anything away from Ole Miss, but I'm also not going to put a whole bunch of negatives on Florida either, because other than the second half, I mean, the first half, they looked pretty dang good, in my opinion. They were driving the ball. They were scoring touchdowns. Like, what else could I expect from them? 50% for, Lagway. But he was throwing it deeper, too. I like to see those deep balls by him. He has a good deep ball, so use his advantages. And that's what we're doing. I like that. So that's, one of the things I took off immediately.
Yeah, it was nice to see him to be able to get the ball down, even with all the injuries. I like the way our defense have always, for the most part, have come to play every game. I mean, even in the games that we lost, I feel like they I feel like they were probably gassed more than anything. That's why we ended up losing. But for the most part, when they're out there, they play with their hair on fire. And for the most part, the entire season, we've always started off fast. Well, not always started off fast, but we've always been like the first quarter team, first half. And then we cool off and revert back to, the old ways, which consistency matters. And that's what lasts with us. But it was nice to see us, have a, early rhythm, against a ranked opponent, against the coach that, possibly could be the next head coach of the Florida Gators in the coming months. Who knows?
Okay, y'all gotta chill out with all this nonsense. Y'all don't know who the coach is. Your aunt selling real estate don't know who the coach is gonna be, okay? Y'all leave that stuff at home. They will say who the coach is when they have the coach. That's it.
I don't know, bro, man. Some of these people have crystal balls. Maybe they know something that we don't know, man. Maybe they got some special voodoo, some tarot cards, that they're reading, that they know they can see the future. Maybe they know something that we don't know.
I mean, I keep seeing the post, so, Lane Kiffin's visiting here. He's visiting all these places on the same day at the same time. What does that tell you, Kyle? Don't believe what you see on the internet. It's ridiculous. Wait for Scott Strickland to come out, give you a name, or even a list of people that they're even looking at. I haven't seen any of that yet from Scott. Have you, Carl?
No, I haven't. Do you think Lane Kiffin is he got a clone? Maybe it's multiple.
No, there's no telling, Kyle. I really hope he stays at Ole Miss. He's built a good program there. He should ride out with that legacy until it dies off. That's what I think. I mean,
I think he's doing this to get more money. I don't think he's leaving. Truthfully, I don't think he's leaving.
I don't either, Kyle. But
it.
Time will tell that. I'm not going to look at no dang Twitter feed to find out who my coach is, or the Facebook, or even here. Don't trust me or Kyle. We don't know who the coach is going to be. We don't know who they're looking at.
But
we don't know the best option either. Y'all don't know either. Y'all a bunch of couch, athletic directors out there sitting on the couch, want to be grateful.
Because they feel like we have one up. They feel like our content, is able to give them insight on, the decisions on, the next head coach. That's why they hang their ear on, these type of posts and, Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. Nobody really watches the news anymore, for real, to get their data. They go to social media.
And the problem is, Kyle, is they're going to become emotionally invested. And then what's going to happen is they're not going to get Lane Kiffin. And then they're going to be crying. And then Scott Strickland's going to be, on the line, which he already is for some of these people. Although he hired Todd Golden. Doesn't nobody remember that? What happened last year with that? I mean, so you can't please these people. It's like Jesus, man. He couldn't please everybody. They, nailed him to the cross.
Damn if you do, damn if you don't. That's legit.
Right.
I feel like a lot of our fans are going to get their heart broken. A lot of the fans that are, going to these games, showing up with T-shirts saying, Lane Kiffin, please come here, as if he's like the Messiah. Bro, he's not Nick Saban, bro. We're not good. If we were to get him, we're not getting Nick Saban. I get it. He coached under him, but I watched him at USC. I watched him at Tennessee. I watched him at Ole Miss. His best coaching job when he was an assistant. Great offensive mind. I feel like he would be a great offensive coordinator. Head coach, I don't see it. I just don't see it.
And maybe, no, of course not, Kyle. And the fans think they're going to sway this decision, but they're not the ones shelling out this money. They're not the ones drawing up these contracts, exactly. Kyle. They don't even look at the contracts, Kyle. They can't see them.
I feel like it looks even bad. I mean, not that he reads into it, but I feel like if I was him, it looks really bad. Well, it makes him feel good to know that, it's like a female. Like, to know I get all this attention, I'm getting all this attention from all these different teams. I got fans showing up to games with shirts saying that they want me. Like, it's not many people doing that, bro. Would you show up to a game with another man's face in your shirt talking about, please come here? Like, please come to this, please come to my program?
And that's the thing, Kyle. We are a prestigious athletic school. We don't have to do that. We got national championships in almost all the sports, Kyle.
All categories.
What are we doing? I'm not begging for nobody to come here. People should be begging us to come here. We created the greats. We created Urban Meyer, one of the greatest college coaches we've known.
Now I have a question. Do you think if we would have won that game, that would have affected his decision to come here? Do you think us losing or winning had an effect on anything of his decision?
I think our fans can be a little bit too delusional, and it really wouldn't even have an effect, Kyle. I think they would still be on the lane train, or whatever they want to call it. The delusional train is what I call it, because they're going cuckoos over there. But then again, like, we don't even have a head coach, and he only won by 10. Last week, we lost 38-7 against Kentucky. So that should tell you right there, Josh Heupel, or not, no, that's this week, boy. Y'all better be ready for that. Mark Stoops. Mark Stoops made us look sillier than Lane Kiffin. Oh, nobody asking for him.
Yeah, nobody is. They asking for his brother.
Yeah.
That's what people want, Bob, not him.
That's right, Kyle.
But I would say, my question to you is, post this game, have your thoughts on DJ Lagway changed? He looked pretty good.
He looked good, Kyle, but he needs a lot of development still. Like, I'm just going to be real with you. There's a lot to develop still. But there's potential. That's the thing, Kyle. And I'm not going to take that away from him. He's a stud of an athlete. He can do things. But if you notice this, he only throws to the left side. He's only comfortable throwing to the left side. And if you're not going to have an open field, that's going to be dangerous, especially in the SEC. A lot of work to do on this offseason with him, but there's potential behind him to be, the elite quarterback Florida needed him to be this year.
Nah, facts. I see it. We've seen the potential since last year, since he came in last year. He shows flashes. His biggest thing is just consistency. And also, it doesn't help when, his top receivers aren't there. I don't want to make excuses, but, we know what the injury report is. We've spoken about this in many episodes. He still was making plays. Him and J. Michael was doing their thing. Aiden was doing his thing. And shout out TJ Abrams. TJ Abrams, big spot, bro. Big spot. I know we didn't win the game, and there is no such thing as moral victories, in my opinion. I don't know about you, but it was nice to see somebody who hasn't played majority of the season step up in a big moment and come through for us. And he did that.
And on multiple occasions, Kyle, he's going to be a rock star athlete for the Florida Gators,
And we need him again this week. We got 2 more games left.
And that's another thing going into this week. We're playing Tennessee at home. So we haven't lost to Tennessee at home in 22 years. So are we going to keep the streak, or, we got to figure that out. And I think that's for the forecast, Kyle, not for the fallout. But
I'm excited for this weekend. Listen, it's unfortunate that we're not going bowling this year, but I said it in the previous episode, we don't deserve it. Not this year. Any bowl game. I don't want to see an extra week of football for us. We need to finish these last 2 weeks out, get into the offseason, figure out who's going to leave, who's going to stay, who's leaving, and get the ball rolling for next year and get guys healthy. That's the most important thing. But we're going to be watching these last 2 games just to evaluate talent for next year, see what we see, see guys, you don't want to quit these last 2 weeks because, a lot of the seniors are leaving. So we want to give them something to remember. Florida State's, not to move too far ahead, but Florida State's the last game next week. So we got to get that one. You know how much we don't like those guys.
And those winning recruits.
Exactly. Those guys are coming off last year. How we did them. Planting the flag. Your boy George Gunn's planting the flag. So they're going to come out firing. Not to look too far ahead, but these last 2 weeks are very important.
Hey, but we got George Gums Jr. Hey, you the dog, boy. I'm just letting you know, like, you planting the flag, I want to see that kind of ability out there against them again. Like, I know we're going to beat them because he's on our defense. Like, he going to get 10 sacks a game, bro.
Man, Miles Graham is a dog, bro.
Miles Graham is a dog.
But just to reel it back in, this has been another episode of Fallout. I'm better.com. He's out of position.
Yo, y'all hit that like, comment. Go ahead and subscribe. I know we might get some haters from that comment I made earlier, but that's all right. We love you too. Just have a good week. Go Gators.
Gators.